debate on where we stand at what looks like an inflection point of the Kenyans' public finances. So the brief report I'm going to present had a few issues we wanted to monitor at the start of the year, and we have been monitoring them, and we have a report on how things look like. One of those things is the revenue reforms that the government has instituted, and also the commitment to cutting unnecessary spending. We're also looking at the budget deficit, how much deficit we started with at the beginning of the year, and how much we ended up with by the close of the year in June 2025. We're also going to reflect on a very critical and abated conversation on social health insurance, otherwise known as SHIF, its implementation, and also the disbursement to counties, another rather complicated conversation that has been on our media and on our conversations. So what we are looking at to start with is how does our economy currently look like? The Kenya's macroeconomic performance, it was very optimistic at the start of the year. Many institutions, including ourselves, had indicated or projected a growth of about 5%. Across the year, we were proven wrong because many things were not working as they should. One of the things that reduced our optimism is the initial withdrawal of the June 2024 finance bill and the subsequent tax laws that were introduced at the end of last year that, as we'll see, have not led to any significant increase in revenue. The other bit was the early withdrawal of the Kenyan government from the IMF program, which signaled something to investors, it signaled something to foreign investors, domestic investors, and anyone who will be interested in doing business in Kenya. It meant something. We'll also look at what happened during the political unrest and the effect it had in our economy. So IMF, Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, ourselves adjusted the economic growth to sort of reflect a better reality. You look at the beginning of the year, we had projected 5.1% growth, but currently the projections are at about 4.8, and for others it's around 4.5. In June of this year, the World Bank has projected that will grow even by less percentage points. So, and to restore this optimism, to restore the economy back to the 5% growth and above, what needs to happen? We have a few insights on what the government needs to do. First is investing in sectors that build resilience, that protect the vulnerable, and that sustain the economy. One of those sectors is the sector of education, which has one of the greatest multiplier, which also has a better equity perspective in the long run, that anyone who has an opportunity to go to school has a better future, has better opportunity to secure their own future. The other sector is in health. And health as in two ways. One is to reduce the amount of out-of-pocket spending that households spend on health, and ensure they are healthy enough to be productive and to the economy. So that is generally how the economic indicators look. On revenue reforms and commitments to cut expenses, this is where we see some bit of inconsistent policy pronouncement. At the beginning of last year, the financial year 2025, the finance bill, The government cut down the budget by